Okay, welcome back, guys. This is part 4 of the 20 truths Bay Area home buyers and sellers wish they knew. If you've made it this far, first off, thanks. You're now more informed than most people in the market right now. We've already covered a lot in the first 3 parts. Pricing realities, shady sales tactics, inspection surprises, and more. But these last 5, they hit a little deeper. This is the stuff we don't really say out loud. Like which people we avoid working with, what some agents are doing behind the scenes to double dip on their commissions, and why cash offers aren't always a slam dunk they seem. So if you're planning to buy and sell or sell in 2025, especially here in the Bay Area, these last 5 could easily be the difference between a smart move or a costly regret. Let's get into number 16. This one's a little behind the scenes, but it's 100% real. Ask any experienced agent and they'll tell you we all have a mental list of lenders, inspectors, contractors, and yes, even builders that we try to avoid. And I wish more buyers and sellers knew this actually happens. Here's why. Some lenders constantly delay closings. Some inspectors freak buyers out over things that don't matter, or worse, miss something huge. Some contractors rush jobs or ghost you halfway through the project. And certain builders, let's just say I've seen patterns and they're not good. So why don't we just call them out? Honestly, legal risk, reputation management, and we're not here to start fights. But we do remember the bad experiences and we're cautious about who we recommend moving forward. Here's what you can do. When your agent gives you a referral, ask them the following. Have you ever worked with this person before? How did it go? Would you use them in your own home? If you trust your agent, there's usually a reason behind every recommendation, even if they don't lay it out all in public. The bottom line is that not every lender, builder, or vendor is created equal. An experienced agent knows who gets the job done and who tends to cause problems. You just need to ask the right question. Okay, number 17. Let's be real, the standard purchase contract isn't exactly buyer-friendly. And I wish more buyers understood that before they just signed on the dotted line. Here's what most people don't realize. The default terms in most contracts were built with the seller's interest in mind. That means short contingency timelines, limited options to back out, and more pressure on buyers to perform quickly and cleanly. So unless you or your agent negotiate specific protections into the deal, you could be locked into a contract that gives the seller all the leverage. Now, can you make the contract more balanced? Absolutely. That's where contingencies come into place, like inspection contingencies, appraisal contingencies, financing contingencies. These are the tools that let you walk away if something major comes up and you get your deposit back. But here's the kicker. Some buyers don't even know they can negotiate this stuff, or worse, they're pressured to waive everything just to be competitive without fully understanding the risk. My advice, ask your agent to walk you through every contingency option before you write an offer. And don't be afraid to slow it down and ask questions. Because once you're in contract, things move fast and surprises can get expensive. Real estate contracts aren't neutral. If you're a buyer, make sure you're not just signing what's standard. You want to sign something that actually protects you. Okay. This next one, oh boy, this next one is one of my favorites. HOAs can be a nightmare. Homeowners Association, some people love it, others, well, they are a horror story. And I wish more buyers really knew what they were signing up for before they bought into one. Let's start with the good. Yes, HOAs can help keep the neighborhood looking clean and consistent. They maintain shared spaces, handle landscaping, and sometimes include nice perks like pools, gyms, or gated access. But that all comes with rules, and some of them are way stricter than buyers expect. Here's what I've seen. Fines for leaving trash bins out too long, letters for parking on the wrong spot, disputes over what color you can paint your door, even threats of legal action over something as small as a flag, a plant, or a patio umbrella, or again, parking the wrong car outside the front of your house. And yes, in some extreme cases, HOAs can place a lien in your property or start foreclosure proceedings over unpaid dues or repeated violations. So what you should do before buying into an HOA community? Read the CCNRs. That's short for Covenants, Conditions, and Restrictions. They're not exactly fun reading, but they'll tell you everything you can and cannot do with your property. And that's the stuff that tends to cause the problems later. Also, talk to a few neighbors. Ask about the HOA. What is it like? Are they helpful? Or is the board full of power-hungry, power-tripping rule enforcers? Look, HOAs aren't automatically bad, but they're not all the same. So don't just look at the monthly fee. Look at the fine print. Know what you're agreeing to, because once you buy in, you're going to be playing by their rules. Number 19. Okay, in part 1, I talked about dual agency, when one agent represents both the buyer and the seller. Again, it's legal here in California, but it can create serious conflict of interest if it's not handled properly. But here's why I'm bringing it up again, because this is the part most people never see. Some agents will quietly prioritize bringing their own buyer, not because it's the best fit, but because it means double the commission. And here's how it plays out. The listing hits the market and suddenly your agent says, I've got a buyer already. At first, that sounds great. Less hassle, one point of contact, quick close. But what you don't know or may not know, they don't always tell you, is that they're not aggressively marketing your home to other buyers. They're not pushing for more exposure. And they may even delay or limit showings from other agents just to give their buyer a head start. I've had other agents tell me things like, I tried to schedule a showing and was told the seller already accepted an offer. But it turns out that the offer was from the listing agent's own buyer. And it wasn't always the strongest offer on the table. It was just the one that got them both sides of the commission. Hey, look, this isn't about accusing every agent of shady practices. There are plenty of ethical professionals out there, but it's something buyers and sellers need to be aware of, because when this happens behind the scenes, you don't always know what you're missing. So how do you protect yourself? Ask questions like, are you working with the buyer for this property? Are other agents actively showing it? How are you making sure we're getting the full market exposure? If the answers feel vague or defensive, that's a red flag. Again, dual agency is one thing, but when an agent is quietly funneling the deal to their own buyer without giving others a fair shot, you could be leaving money on the table and not even know it. Last but certainly not the least, or maybe it is, number 20, cash offers aren't always the best deals for sellers. Now, cash sounds amazing, right? No lender, no appraiser, no delays. In a competitive market, it's often positioned as the dream offer. But here's the truth. Cash buyers usually want a discount. I've seen sellers jump at a cash offer thinking it's automatically better, but leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table. Why? Because that cash buyer came in low knowing their offer would look clean and easy. Meanwhile, a finance buyer might offer more. Sure, there's loan involved, but if they're well qualified and working with a strong lender, that financing is solid and sometimes worth the extra 2 or 3 weeks to close. And in today's Bay Area market, where every dollar counts and buyers are getting pickier, it's important to look at different offers, not just whether someone's bringing cash. Here's what I usually tell my sellers. Look at the terms, look at the contingencies, look at the buyer's motivation. Because fast and easy is great, but netting more at closing is usually the real goal. Hey, so that's the 20 hard truths Bay Area real estate home buyers and sellers rarely hear until it's too late. If you made it this far, now you know what really goes on behind the scenes, and you're better prepared than most people in this market. Some of this might feel overwhelming, but that's exactly why I do what I do. Because real estate isn't just about open houses and shiny listings. It's about navigating the stuff that doesn't always make it into the brochures. If you're thinking about buying or selling, you want someone who's honest, experienced, and not afraid to tell you what others won't, reach out. Call, text, email, whatever works for you. Even if you're just exploring your options, I'm here to help. And if you're preparing to sell, grab my free self-staging guide below and check out my full video on how to get your home ready the smart way. So I have a buyer's guide for those of you who are buyers. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm Mac Rogers. Thanks for sticking with me through all 4 parts. And I hope we work together soon.